Okay, so last night, fantastic meeting. I promised I would bring you a recording. Unfortunately, I got distracted and I didn't press record. So here is a shortened version of what happened last night. It was about 40 minutes, so this actually will save you some time in terms of getting things a bit quicker. What we discussed was lockdown challenge, buddy runs, some online fitness classes that you can take part in, and virtual club runs, which are effectively coached runs that you can do without me being right next to you, but being in your ear. So the lockdown challenge, the purpose really is to keep the motivation up. Okay, in the last lockdown, we lost a lot of engagement with the club. A lot of people stopped running or they disengaged with the club. It was a different thing, a different lockdown, wasn't it? There was kids around and all sorts. So this time, it was the first time I've done it, a lockdown challenge. The idea is to encourage you guys to do a minimum of 2 runs, or ideally 2 or 3 runs per week, and let us know that you've done those. Provide some evidence, and we've actually developed a bit of a point system so that we can put a leaderboard together if that's something that you guys sort of engage with. What we're trying to encourage first and foremost is just to do 2 or 3 runs a week. So if you can do that, you're doing amazing in the challenge. If you team up with a buddy for a run, that's something we want to encourage. So we're going to offer an extra point for that. And if you do a virtual club run, then we're also going to, that's something we want to encourage. And we want more of you doing that because it means that you're more likely to follow our program and to get benefits. You're less likely to just call a run short because you're not feeling it today. Or maybe you've paced it wrong. So I won't go too deep into the point system. I will do another post on the challenge and how it's all going to work. But in the short term, I guess you know that you'll be looking out for a post from me in the members Facebook group asking you to comment with screenshots of your runs. So just the basic stats, time and speed, but also in a screenshot to prove that you've actually been in a virtual club run. You can see here my background is taken from one of our virtual club runs. And obviously it would be before the run actually started because everyone's got their videos turned on, whereas you wouldn't run with your video on, would you, in a in a club run? And the other thing is a selfie with your buddy, just to show that you were with someone when you did your run. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to do all their runs with someone, but again, it's something we kind of looking to encourage, and the feedback about the buddy runs has been really positive. Sounds like loads of you are keen to run with someone and happy to have it kind of partially facilitated by us. So that is the lockdown challenge. Again, more details will come out about that. I haven't thought of any sort of rewards for people doing well in the challenge yet, but if anyone wants to donate anything or knows a business that might be keen to donate some prizes, then more than welcome. And the idea is at first just to run through November. So we'll have a November challenge. At the end of November, we'll then reset everything, and depending on what happens in December, we'll look to do another one. If it goes really well, we'll do one regardless of whether we are back running as small groups or not. If it's not that big a deal, then we'll call it quits in December. So next, to move on to buddy runs. The purpose really is to give you a chance to run with other people. One thing that people want is to have an appointment to exercise. Knowing that you're effectively needed to meet someone and do the run, for some people may seem like a negative, but actually, if you've been coming to the club runs, you've been doing that, right? You've been setting this time in your diary and you've been meeting people, and to a certain extent, they've kind of relied on you to show up, because if you don't show up, and if they could find themselves the only person in the club run. So this goes to another kind of level with buddy runs, of course, because it's really important that, if you arrange to meet with someone, that you are there on time, ready to run with them, because you don't want them standing around in the dark and the cold waiting for you. Okay, so we will discuss further about exactly how to ensure that doesn't happen. But I guess one benefit is that we are really saying that everyone should have their phones on them now when they run, so that you can communicate with someone you're arranged to meet with. So I've so far asked everyone for permission to put them into a WhatsApp group. If you haven't replied to me, or if maybe you haven't got a message from me, please do just send me one and let me know that, or whether or not you are happy for that to happen. Obviously, you could leave the WhatsApp chat group at any time, but hopefully, if we make the experience good and we don't let people chatter and chatter in these WhatsApp groups, then it will be used properly and you'll enjoy being part of it. So I've allocated everyone their group based on what I think, and I've, some people have helped correct me on which group they should be in. The first thing we do once we get you into the WhatsApp group will actually be to just to type in your name, so that people in your WhatsApp group, so say you're in the 10 group, everyone in that 10 group can see whose phone number is this. Okay, it's Andy, for example. And then they can save your name in their address book, and therefore whenever they see a comment from Andy, they know that it's Andy talking. And also, if Andy responds to a message where you're asking for someone to come and run with you, then you know that Andy's quite keen if he says he is. So that makes sense, right? The next thing will be to ask everyone to come forward with what their kind of target speed would be for a 40-minute run at the moment, and that should be achievable for them. And that's going to give you an indication of whether they're going to be a good person to run with. So, for example, if Andy's saying he wants to run it, he would typically run it around 10.8, 10.9 for a 40-minute run, then, and I know that I'm more sorted to the lower end of the 10s, maybe closer to 10 to 10.3, 10.5, then I might decide actually I'm probably not best to run with Andy, because I'm going to hold him back, or else he's going to push me too hard and I'm going to struggle. So hopefully that will help you figure out who in your group is going to be the best kind of buddy to run with. The next thing is, it's really important that we ensure that all conversations are on point when it comes to these WhatsApp groups. What I don't want is people having private conversations in the WhatsApp group, discussing their meeting point, where they're going to run and all that jazz. Everyone in the group does not need to hear that. Okay, all people need to hear in the group is, oh, so-and-so wants to run. Okay, yep, I want to do that run. I know that they're around my speed. All I'm going to say is, yep, cool, I'm keen to do that. I'll private message you. Okay, and then you guys take the conversation privately and you sort out all the small details. All right. There will be a bit of learning with this process. We've not done this before, but this is the case with everything. And we will probably end up creating some sort of etiquette or something document, just to help ensure that the people that aren't involved in a conversation aren't getting a series of WhatsApp notifications on their phone. Yeah, that's the buddy runs. Yeah, so if you have any questions about that, let me know. But the plan is to really get those WhatsApp groups set up later today, so that you guys can start arranging who you're going to run with for the weekend's run. Anything else on buddy runs? Yeah, I know there is, obviously there's a small, I guess we call it a safeguarding issue. I didn't discuss this last night. Are we taking details of everyone who is in the WhatsApp groups? So that will be phone number, email address, and address, because it's important that everyone's held accountable to their behavior in regards to meeting people and being with people on runs. If you have any complaints about anyone else's behavior, please let me know. I don't expect there to be at all. We've never had a complaint about someone else's behavior before in the club's history, so I don't expect it to start now. But obviously when you're talking about one-to-one meetups, anything can happen, you just don't know. So next up, online fitness classes. This is the first thing we did when we came into lockdown last time. I ran some runners workouts on Zoom and they went really well. We were doing them on Tuesday and Thursday nights instead of club runs because we couldn't meet. And yeah, it was really great to see how many people were actually coming out to do fitness sessions. We've now got 2 PTs that have been running Zoom fitness sessions since the start of lockdown. They've been running them throughout and they're going really well. And I'd encourage you guys to get involved with those. So if you are keen, let me know. I will do another post on those classes, but in regards to when they are, you're looking at Tuesday, Thursday and Friday mornings, so 7 a.m. Plus Monday, Wednesday, Friday lunchtimes at 1 p.m. So those are classes that are already happening, and I won't say that they're advanced classes, but a lot of the people that are doing those classes have been doing some sort of gym type fitness in the past. So if you've never done any gym fitness, and maybe you're not particularly confident with doing strength exercises, then you may be interested in doing some beginners fitness sessions with me. So I'm looking to put these on for people that want to just get started. We'll do a bit more work on technique and how to do the exercises well, and before we get into each sort of set of fitness. The idea of these sessions will be to set you up to then move into the more advanced sessions, or I should just call them the standard training sessions that are on offer. So that is those. They do have a cost. They are, I think you buying a package of 5 for £16, or one-off sessions for £4. So that is the standard sessions. I think I'll be happy to do some free ones for the beginners sessions, just to get people in it and help them decide whether it's something that they want to do going forward. So hopefully you guys will jump on that. But I'm sure you'll agree it's a pretty small cost for a qualified personal trainer to take you for a fitness session. They're 30 minutes, good fun, really good atmosphere with them. The teachers are outgoing guys, and they really know what they're doing. So that's the online fitness classes. We call them HIIT classes because that's kind of the type of training it is, which stands for high intensity interval training. Sounds scary, but it's pretty standard. It's just a fitness class doing squats and lunges and other bits like that, all body weight exercises. So very achievable if you get the right progression for your ability. So virtual club runs, the fun bit. Again, once we were doing these online runners workouts on Tuesday, Thursday night, I got this, it must have been about 3 or 4 weeks. I got this idea, why not? People have got these headsets. I've got a wireless headset. Why not we start doing club runs with our phones? And we trialed it out at first. It was all a learning process. We got lots of feedback from members. We had runs with people that didn't mute themselves, and they had either, the noise of their phone bouncing around in their pocket in our ear, which was not great, traffic in the background and all that. But we've learned from it, right? We've learned, ask people to go on mute when they're running, So I'll run you through the process of how a typical session will work, because I know it just doesn't at the moment. It's just like, what the hell? Before warm up, you'll arrive into the session hopefully around 5 minutes before it's due to start, and that's just time to catch up, or just chill out and just make sure that you've got your kit ready. You've got your Zoom app. You've got your Zoom app ready, and you've got your headset ready, and it's all syncing up well. The Bluetooth's working. You just want to make sure that you're not faffing around with stuff in the session while we're doing the warm up or while we're out for the run. You don't want to be doing that sort of stuff. Make sure you've got your Runkeeper ready. Runkeeper works fine with Zoom. That's no issue. So then we'll start the warm up. And effectively, I'll tell you when it's time to start the warm-up. I'll say, right, it's time to do your 30 seconds out and your 1 minute back, the same as what we do at a club run. It's up to you whether you do out and backs on your street or a nearby street or a park, or whether you use the warm-up as going somewhere. So doing your 30 seconds fast, 1 minute slow on your way to Pitfall Park, for example. Once we've done the warm-up, so typically your 5 reps of 30 seconds out, 1 minute back, we'll then do your stretches. I can actually demonstrate those stretches and explain them better than I have been able to over the last few months, because I've been just at the pump rooms, haven't I? I've not been able to tell people how to stretch properly, so it'd be good to be able to demonstrate those on video and have you guys actually listen in on how to do it properly. Then after we've done our stretches, we will go into the main set. Obviously now on Tuesday nights, that will be interval training, and I'll be explaining what the timings will be, but I'll also look to put those in the Facebook group, so you can program your watches or your app in advance. So that's all sort of set up for you. But if you think about it, one of these sessions when you've got me in your ear on Zoom, you don't need to know. You don't need to have your phone tell you when it's time to start and when it's time to stop, because I'll be telling you that. In saying that, it's not going to hurt either. And actually, if you want to look back on your stats, it is quite good to have splits from your app or from your watch taken automatically when you're doing your fast and your slows, and you can look back and compare how fast your first fast was compared to your last fast and how well you paced the session all around. So it is worth setting up the sessions in advance on your device. Thursdays is our tempo run. So that's when, again, we'll just do the warm up as standard, but I'll then be dumping you into a breakout room. So a breakout room for each speed group. Effectively, I'm trying to get the groups to around between 3 and 5 people, maybe a few more, depending on how many people jump into the session. But those will be broken up by speed. So we'll have our slowest group, couch 5K slowest group, couch 5K fastest group, 7 kph group, 8, 9, 10, and so on. You guys are welcome to chat in that run. You can discuss things between you, but you can also just put yourself on mute if you're not talking, right? So if you want to say something, take yourself off mute, but otherwise you should be on mute while you're running. I will be jumping between the groups and just checking in on people, making sure that they know, how long is left in the run, and asking people to let me know what their average speed is, so that we can kind of potentially make sure that people are on track to have a good run, because it's not uncommon for people to run too fast in the first 10 minutes of their run. If you're in the 10 group and I'm asking, right, what's everyone's speed? Andy, what's your speed? And he says, I'm 10. I'm 11.5 and I'm supposed to be doing 10.5. Then he knows straight away, right? Yeah, no, I actually need to cool it down. But for other people, it might take me to say, hey, look, let's just cool it back a little bit. Make sure that you're still feeling pretty strong in the last 10 minutes of the run, so you can pick the speed up if you want to. So it does help to have that. And obviously, if you're listening if you're in the 10 group and you're listening to me and Andy discuss that, it's actually quite nice just to hear what's going on with other people in your group. Quite motivating, and might serve as a little bit of a reminder for you to think about your pacing. And I'll be cueing people on technique as well. Not that I'll be able to see your technique, but I'll still be able to cue, right, you guys thinking about getting tall and getting those hips forward, things like that. And that's another massive benefit of these sorts of sessions, having a coach in your ear, is that I can now put a focus on different parts of running technique each week. And I'll start with the basics, but we'll progress into more advanced sort of running technique stuff, just to have you sort of thinking about not just how fast you're running, but actually how am I holding myself, what am I doing with my arms, what am I doing with my legs, and just learning more about how to run properly, right? Which chances are that's actually what you want. That's part of the reason you join this club, is to learn how to improve your running technique and make it more efficient. So this is a massive benefit of the virtual club runs. So just in terms of getting yourself set up for that, first up, you want to download and install Zoom on your phone, and make sure you've got enough space on your phone for a new app. Get yourself some headphones. Most basic option is, your corded headphones, ideally with a microphone on them, just in case I want to catch up with you at some point in the run. Second best option would be wireless. These are MPAL Flames, very cheap. You can get them certainly online, hopefully up and running the online store. You've got that 10% discount now in the Facebook group. Another option is and more expensive, but probably safer, is a set of bone conducting headphones. Aftershocks are the most popular. This is not aftershocks, but basically you can still hear traffic and whatnot, or maybe if you are running with a buddy, then you can actually hear them talking to you. Whereas wearing these not so easy, unless you're both in the virtual club run. You could talk to each other. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's it. Yeah. So test out the kit, test out your tech, right? You've got to make sure that you know how to use the headphones, you know how to get them synced up with your phone. You want to make sure that you know what it sounds like. You know, typically if you're running into a headwind, the air is going to make noise in your microphone, so it's not as easy to talk and have other people hear you if you're running into a headwind or if you're running particularly fast. But you know, you'll learn that sort of stuff as we go on. And yeah, just make sure you get into the session nice and early. The worst thing that can happen is, you know, you get into the run and everyone's starting their warm up and you're still faffing about with your tech and it's not working. If, you know, you have a bad session, like you just give up on the tech and end up going for your own run because it's just not working out for you, don't give up. Okay, just let me know and we'll troubleshoot any issues you're having. It could be that the internet's not working with your phone. You know, your mobile internet's not great. Well, there's a solution to that. Turn your phone off, turn it back on again, close, make sure all the apps are closed. Your phone will run better. It will pick up signal better. Okay, there are solutions for most of the troubles that people have with this sort of a session. And yeah, just remember that, you know, chances are we're going to go in and out of lockdown for some time now. So if you give up on these virtual club runs now at this very early stage, then you're probably not going to get back into them later, are you? You may as well take on the education that we offer in the Facebook group in regards to the videos and how to get things set up. Make sure you test your kit out properly and test out some calls on Zoom properly so that you're more confident and you're more likely to have a good experience when you do the virtual club runs. Now, I've got a session right now, so I've got to go. I will see you later.